Shout out to our sponsor, Movement Watches.
Get multiple watches in one with bands you can switch out for a whole new look. Because who needs to buy a whole new watch for every occasion?
Not you. And you'll get 15% off your entire purchase at mvmtwatches.com/theknow.
Loud noises!
Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Adam Ellis.
We tried to do it, guys. We were gonna avoid the internet's obsession with No Man's Sky for just like a day and report on something cool from Gamescom like For Honor's Alpha or the Overwatch map that was announced.
But then Sean Murray opened his mouth again, and all bets were off.
He's really good at it. The man running for Peter Molyneux's vacant position of spouting the most BS in the biz is at it again, this time refuting something he said on launch day, which for the record was 8 days ago.
That's eons in Murray's time. He's imagined a whole different game by now, with all the stuff that was supposed to be in No Man's Sky.
The latest guff from Murray concerns Hello Games' star map for future No Man's Sky DLC and what kind of content the company has planned to support players post-launch. After stating pretty definitively that players wouldn't have to worry about being charged more money for DLC down the line, Murray has now said that might not be the case at all. And then he went and jumped in his pool of money.
This new bout of No Man's lies comes from another interview with the Daily Star, who conducted the same interview where Murray sidestepped the question of console exclusivity. According to the news story from the Daily Star, Murray said he was, quote, perhaps naive to suggest that No Man's Sky DLC would remain free, stating, maybe in the future there's some reason why we just couldn't possibly afford to do a certain feature without charging for it.
Unlike other contradictions from Sean Murray in the past where he said something months ago, this contradiction comes 1 week after he said the exact opposite. The previous statement came, oddly enough, from an interview with Red Bull on the day of No Man's Sky's launch.
Speaking with Red Bull, Murray said, we want to do a ton of add-on features, like we've discussed. Freighters, bases, these types of things. But we want to do it for free. You've paid for the game, so you should get this stuff without paying even more money. So no, there will be no paid DLC, just patches.
Prior to No Man's Sky's launch, Murray gave a few hints as to what these updates might be on the game's blog. After detailing the enormous Day Zero patch that basically changed a ton of the game, Murray wrote that they were considering things like base building, the ability to own giant space freighters, instead of just, I guess, protect them from pirates, because these giant ships are super helpless. I don't know what's going on there. And new cloud rendering tech in future patches.
At the time, these were exciting possibilities for the game's many explorers, as this meant we could be seeing similarly huge updates down the line for free. But now that's not exactly something we can count on.
Why Murray would say there would never be paid DLC and then reverse it is anybody's guess, but it's been well documented in the last week that the developer isn't exactly concerned with accuracy. Since the game's launch, players have been digging through a ridiculous amount of statements he's made about missing features, ideas, and core gameplay components that don't appear in the game in spite of being talked about a whole bunch.
There are a couple of viral videos documenting all of this already, one of them 16 minutes long and featuring us and Funhouse.
Yeah, that's right. We're a definitive source of the salt, actually. Chief among these many complaints would have to be the fact that players can't actually see each other, after Murray said a number of times that it would be the opposite.
And the list only gets more absurd from there. One new massive thread in the No Man's Sky subreddit actually digs into just about every single one, and it's almost unbelievable.
Not quite, but almost.
But almost. In addition to the well-documented No Man's Sky features, Reddit user Meet Wayne Kerr added dozens more.
That extremely long list includes planetary physics, different classes of ships for different playstyles, resource distribution based on a planet's position in its solar system, landing on asteroids, destructible space stations and fleets, large freighters actually moving through space, trade ships docking with freighters, NPC ships landing and launching anywhere on a planet, ringed planets, and it goes on and on.
All the things that would give
there.
the game depth.
Also dinosaurs.
God damn it.
We were promised dinosaur aliens.
It would be one thing if every element here was something that Murray said he wanted in the game at one point, but that's generally not the case. Oftentimes it was something shown in the game at a demonstration, or something that Murray definitively stated was in the game when asked directly about it. There's a difference between the two, and fans are starting to get irritated by it.
A weird bit of side news about that Reddit thread, Meet Wanker has since deleted his account and the original post. So even this game's controversies are getting more controversies. It's procedurally generated shitstorm.
The interesting thing about seeing all these black hole features together in one spot is that they probably give us a big clue about the direction Hello Games could be taking the game's free but maybe not DLC.
It would be a little bit hard to package planetary physics and all of its stacking effects into a saleable package for players to buy, sure, but that's not really the case for how the game treats spaceships, as an example. It's not hard to imagine at all that Hello Games could release a big patch or DLC or whatever that adds more ship variety or customization and more, well, ship activity in general, really.
Sean Murray has already talked about base building recently and previously mentioned destructible space stations. We could also see the game adding content around the game's buildings, posts, and stations, which certainly lacks some variety at the moment.
Or they could add multiplayer functionality to the game and attach it as a free, or let's be honest, potentially paid add-on in the future. Of course, the question is whether or not players would actually pay for the thing again when they thought that they were already getting that in the first place when they got the game.
Really, this whole debacle about No Man's Sky and Sean Murray's overambitious dialogue about the game highlights the pitfalls of having a developer/creator as the game's lead spokesperson. Sometimes it works out well, Bethesda's Todd Howard, for instance.
He's magical.
He generally knows how not to overcommit when talking about Fallout or Elder Scrolls.
He's also really good at being like, this is a thing, just announced it, now you can have it. He's a magician in the best kind of way. I like him. Everyone should be Todd Howard. But other times it goes the other way because generally the game's lead designer and creator is, well, it's a good thing really. They're ambitious, they're hopeful, they're passionate about the game they're talking about, and they often end up talking about the game they envision rather than the game as it is, and that's the downfall.
That can be infectious, which is good because it gets people excited about your game, but bad when those developments run into the cold, uncaring reality of video game development.
Technical limitations. There's a tricky balance when it comes to talking to the community about the product you're selling, because at best, it looks like the developers got overeager and miscommunicated accidentally about what the game would be. At worst, it looks like they were lying on purpose.
What do you guys think about No Man's Sky switching factions on paid DLC? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on No Man's Sky, it's like every day now, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Thanks to Movement Watches for sponsoring this update.
Movement watches are made with versatility in mind because you don't need to buy a new watch for every occasion.
No, that's overkill. If you're wearing brown shoes, you just switch out your metal band for a brown leather band like that one, and bam, practically a new watch.
I went with a black watch with blue details, brown leather strap.
I like that. I actually really like that leather strap. I'm tempted to get one for my brown days. I just have the black face with the rose gold.
Can you see my shorts? Hold on. It matches those.
It does. It fully matches. It's coordinated. Watches start at $95, but you can get 15% off your entire purchase when you go to mvmtwatches.com/theknow.